नमो नारायणाय Om Namo Narayanaaya. Friends, let us do our morning sadhana of Vedic chanting, common sense thought, a shloka ucharana, sankalpa prarthana, Upanishad mantras, Upanishad Adhyanam, 5th chapter, Shwethashwathara Upanishad. Last two mantras tell us that this is the Lakshana of the Brahman. This Lakshana Yukta Brahman we have to recognize as our own selves, intellectually, experientially, and establish in it and ensure its consequence that there is no more any sort of bondage, bandhana, or limitation. A very crucial, important topic. Steadily we are studying. We'll try to conclude it today. With that, the Panchamodhyaya will be over. Lokasevakadi Vyaktitwas, we have to strengthen. Invoke the grace of Parabrahma Ishvara, Jagannatha, Devatagana, Guru Gana, and Shastra Gana. In our Vedic chanting, let us do Roga Nivarana Suktam from Atharavana Veda Mantraha. 3 times we will chant Roga Nivarana Suktam. Let all physical, mental, intellectual, ego level, spiritual, prana level, rogas go away. We are healthy, we are strong to live a comfortable life and do our due sadhanas. Om Atha Veda Parayanam Atharvana Veda Mantraha Roga Nivarana Suktam Pratama Kandam Pratama Parapataka Trutiyo Dvadasha Suktam Om Jarayuja Prathama Usriyo Vrushavatabhraja Stanayanneti Vrushtya Sano Mrudati Tanvaru Jugorujan Ya Ekamojastredha Vichakrame Ange Ange Shochisha Shishriyanam Namasyantastvah Vishavidhema Angan Samangan Havisha Vidhemayo Agrabhit Parvasyagrabhitam Munchashir Shaktya Utakasa Enam Parushparura Viveshayo Asya Yo Abhrajava Tajayascha Shushmo Vanaspatin Sachatam Parvatanscha Shamme Parasmai Gatraya Na Shamastvavaraye Me Shamme Chaturbhyo Angebhyaha Shamastu Tanve Mama. Again. Om Jarayuja Prathama Usriyo Vrushavatavraja Stanayanneti Vrushtya Sano Mrudati Tanvaru Jugorujanya Ekamojastredha Vichakrame Ange Ange Shochisha Shishriyanam Namasyantastvah Vishavidhema Angan Samankan Havisha Vidhemayo Agrabhit Parvasya Prabhit Grabhitam Munchashir Shaktya Utakasa Enam Parushparura Viveshayo Asya Yo Abhrajava Tajayascha Shushmo Vanaspatin Sachatam Parvatanscha Shamme Parasmai Gatraya Shamastvavaraye Me Shamme Chaturbhyo Angebhyaha Shamastu Tanve Mama. Once more. Om Jarayuja Prathama Usriyo Vrushavatavraja Stanayanneti Vrushtya स नो मृडाति तन्व रुजुगो रुजन्य एकमोजस्त्रेधा विचक्रमे अङ्गे अङ्गे शोचिषा शिश्रियाणं नमस्यन्तस्त्वा हविषा विधेम अङ्कान् समङ्कान् हविषा विधेमयो अग्रभीत्पर्वास्याग्रभीताम् मुञ्चशीर्षक्त्या उत कास एनं परुष्परुरा विवेशायो अस्य यो अभ्रजावा तजायश्च सूक्ष्मो वनस्पतीन् स च तां पर्वतांश्च शम्मे परस्मै गात्राय शमस्त्ववराय मे शम्मे चतुर्भ्यो अङ्गेभ्यः शमस्तु तन्वे मम ॐ शान्तिः 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 गुड. Yes, in our Vedic chanting, Arogya Suktam, keep on chanting and invoke the blessings to be swastha all the time. Friends, the second aspect today of common sense thought is this key. Life is continuous and it is always the combination of effort, result, right? And the rules and laws of which efforts leads to what results laid down by the divine. We are only the doers and we are only the receivers. The giver is something higher always. So what we receive is called technically prarabdha, or what we continuously put efforts is called technically purushartha. So slowly with our getting the data, contemplating, understanding, becoming more and more unambiguous, clear, pakka about these two things as much as possible. Become pakka, confirmed about. Okay. The first thing to be slowly, steadily getting convinced, confirmed about it is what? To our upadhis, as per what has been done in the past as the effort, whatever the result has to come to our deha, indriya, prana, mana, buddhi, it shall come. What it is, when it is, we don't know. That's the surprise. But that prarabdha is going to come. It can never be predicted at all. है ना? Then there's no maja or surprise in life if one is able to predict. Yet, some predictions can be done for future, if not from the past into the present, with all our earlier experiences. So, as it is in Yoga Shastra said, Jati, where we are born, very clear. Ayuhu, how long we will be living, that also is pakka. है ना? If it in our life 200 years is written, you will live. है ना? The difference in Vedantic or spiritual understanding and outer understanding is this. In the outer understanding, they say, oh, he did such a wonderful food, he took such a good food, took full care of his life and health, what an exercises he used to do, how much disciplined he was in his life he was. That's why he lived 110 years. That's what from the worldly parlance they say. From the spiritual, it is other way around. He'll have to live for 110 years. Therefore, he is forced to do all those things because Ayuhu is already decided. 110 साल. So to live 100 years, naturally you have to take good food, good exercise. Therefore, he is compelled to do so. Not that he was taking good food, he was doing exercise, therefore he lived exodasa. You know? In the same way, the other fellow never used to have good fruit. He used to only drink, smoke and all. Therefore, इतना 100 years जीना था, 50 साल पे ही मर गया. All because of his bad habits, वो मर गया. But in spirituality, is the other round. He'll have to die at 50 years. Therefore, whatever makes him die at 50, that will come in his life. Isn't it? That's why everybody told he never changed. He also wanted to change. He could not. The earlier fellow also. How many situations stopped him from doing the regular exercises? So many occasions came to tempt him to eat this or that. He was ruthless to say no because he had to live Exodus. So, Ayuhu be clear about. And so too the Bhoga. In that Bhukha, Bhoga, all the three come. The Indriya Bhoga, the Manasika Bhoga of the Sukha Dukha, even the intellectual Bhoga of you know, insult or respect, praise, isn't it? That's why you see some people, how much bad they do, they know it, world knows. But still they are not insulted. Chili raha hai unka sin. The others do so much of good. Yeah. And without doing anything bad, some conspiracies are made, some of the allegations are done, and people believe, and he gets so much humiliated, insulted. अरे ऐसे कैसा हुआ? That's called as the bhoga prarabdha. That you'll have to get that insult. Sometimes a very highly criminal also regarded only as great. उसका फोटो लगता है. He people know he has murdered 100 people. You understand? See that when you kill even a small animal, you are such a criminal. 100 living human beings killed, but उसका इतना नाम होता है praise. The other person is such a saintly. Thousands and lakhs of people he gave upadesha, spiritual knowledge, guidance. But people forget all. And for some allegations or even maybe one or two small mistakes, he is insulted so much. He is forced to do those one or two mistakes because he will have to get that experience bhoga of insult. कुछ तो चाहिए ना वो प्रारब्ध एग्जॉस्ट होने के उनको प्रकृति कराती है वो. He himself doesn't know. He feels, अरे I never meant it, I never did it, and no court believes, nobody believes. Okay, so one is about this prarabdha. It will come. It can come at any time, any way. Anybody can enter in our life, do all the good. Anybody can enter in our life, create all the havoc. Anybody can go. Be prepared. You know, the most unexpected people come in our life. Stay long. Most expected people stay short and go, giving all the troubles. जिससे आप पॉजिटिव एक्सपेक्ट करते हो उनसे नेगेटिव. Means it's not that way, as I'm saying that you expect positive negative, means what has to happen that happens. Our expectations never get fulfilled. That's what. One point. Still, though we cannot avoid these prarabdhas of where do we stay, you know, where we get shifted, who will go from India to settle in America, usko prarabdh dekho. And that fellow yesterday from Kenya somewhere, he died in India in the hospital. And he would have gone to America to get treated. यहाँ क्यों आया मरा? See his prarabdha. Some president, Kenya, Uganda, whatever. You can see that people go for the mountaineering and they collapse there and die. And the people born in some mountainous, cold places, है ना, पहाड़ी इलाके में, they come and stay in big cities like Delhi and make a livelihood. सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट जॉब मिल गया, हम पहाड़ में रहते थे, बस मिल गई नौकरी एंड विथ फैमिली सेटल्ड. You can see all these happening in world to everyone and also to us. Point one, it's not accidental, it's incidental. Okay. And yet, now the second thing is all common, we know it. Second is most important is what? As a human being, please recognize that we also have the Purushartha Samarthya given. Recognizing Purushartha Samarthya given to us is called first Purushartha. Somebody came in our life as and told, na, till yesterday we might have not been told. We were not aware. It didn't click to us. But today somebody told that please recognize you are given Purushartha Samarthya. So recognizing it is our first effort, free will, Purushartha. And feel that inside. I can do and change the whole world. No, I can do something. ठीक है ना, पुरुषार्थ सामर्थ्य है. पुरुषार्थ सामर्थ्य है. Recognizing it is called first Purushartha. No ambiguity should be there in it. Second is, this Purushartha is for better prarabdha tomorrow. And depending on how much Purushartha Samarthya we invoke and utilize, in spite of the continuous chasing of the prarabdha, in spite of continuous chasing of the prarabdha, to the extent we are able to recognize and invoke the Purushartha Samarthya, we can command our future prarabdha. It can be zero, that I can't command anything, my future, because I have not invoked any of my Purushartha. It can be 100%, that I can fully command my future because I have fully recognized, realized, invoked my 100% Purushartha, Samartha and Sambhavana. Catch these things intellectually. And always it is again left to us. Two. Now the third point is, what is actually the Purushartha? है ना? पुरुषार्थ is always two. Conscious से सुनो, ध्यान से सुनो. It is knowing and doing. Knowing and doing. These are the two Purusharthas. I can know, I can do. मैं जान सकता हूं, मैं कर सकता हूं. This is called as Purushartha. है ना? Therefore, as we almost see every week, at least once, what are the things which knowing is common? Knowledge is the first Purushartha for human being, which he can. Matlab, he can gain the jnanam, knowing. And according to that, he can do the karma. These two Purusharthas, they are there in our hands. If you don't recognize them, they are dormant, they are zero. Recognize, invoke them, harness them, they keep on growing. Like you use your Purushartha of knowing ability to come by coming to the class. So, to that extent, you are able to know. It's your Purushartha. और यू कैन से स्वामी जी क्या कह रहे हो, तुम्हारा प्रारब्ध है, आपकी बात सुन रहे. दैट इज दैट इज टू फ्रस्ट्रेट मी, है ना. बट आई वोंट फ्रस्ट्रेट, आई विल आल्सो से सेम थिंग. या मेरा भी प्रारब्ध है, आई हैव टू टीच यू. सो सुबह सुबह उठ के आ रहे, मेहनत तो कर रहे हैं. वी आर नॉट इन ए कोमा that somebody has put us in the class. So we got up, we took a bath, expected. And we had a heavy lunch or breakfast of 22 paratha. Now we are ready to sleep in the class. All that is our effort only. Nobody pushed us. Now, remember, these four are the places where our Jnana Purushartha, Kriya Purushartha. You have to keep on utilizing, recognize this. So simple it is. And first is what? Recognizing means having the jnanam about our swadharma. It is our purushartha. We can do. So it's all jnana purushartha of having jnanam about my duty. Use that jnana purushartha samartha and have the jnanam. Kriya jnana purushartha. Now, then we have the second purushartha, the kriya. That is, according to this jnanam of what is my swadharma, doing those swadharma karma is called kriya purushartha. है. What is the prarabdha of this? What is the outcome of this? Is what? That sin of omission is omitted. Because the world is watching, the divine is watching. What we are supposed to do, if we don't do, we are definitely given that sin of omission thing and punishment. Isn't it? Like food. I have to take. It's a purushartha. I must know and I act. If I omit taking that food, isn't it? Will I not have its consequence of weakness, lack of immunity? Example. So I have to take the food, I must know. It is Jnana Purushartha. Then take the food. The Kriya Purushartha, karma. Then the outcome is the sin of omission avoided. Therefore, the required nurturement, nourishment comes. Example. Therefore, Swadharma, these are my Swadharma. Having that Jnanam is our necessary Purushartha. If I don't know, then sin of omission. I have omitted what? The Jnana Purushartha using to know the Jnana of what is my Swadharma. Knowingly, if I don't do them, then I have omitted the Kriya Purushartha, which I am supposed to do. Therefore, I will be incurring that sin of whatever the punishments have to come to me. Therefore, it is a necessary Purushartha. I have to recognize the Jnana and Kriya Purushartha regarding my Swadharma. Nahi karega punishment. Another example is office. Your Jnana Purushartha in the office is knowing your Swadharma. In an office, with that particular your post given, what are your works to be done? स्वधर्म क्या है मेरा जानना है कि नहीं क्रिया पुरुषार्थ you have to do those karmas, isn't it? That's why you are posted there. If you do it, no sin of omission, you have done it. So your salary, your post remain intact. Omit kiya to, I didn't know what are my duties, and even though I know, I didn't do. Some people don't know and don't do also. Some know and do not do. Then the suspension or demotion or transfer or removal totally from the job. Consequence. So after 5 months, if I am going to be suspended, today my Jnana Purushartha regarding my Swadharma and Kriya Purushartha regarding my doing that Swadharma, I am not doing. Ab mat karo, you will be removed. So simple it is. One other thing includes in that is, as much we must know Swadharma, we also must know what is not our Swadharma is equal to what is Adharma. Avoiding that also Purushartha. As a human being, we are bound to do these things. There is no alternative of saying, I could not know, I cannot know, I don't want to know. I could not do, I can't do, I don't want to do. Then डिमोशन हो जाएगा, है कि नहीं? अब देखो आपके सारे कोलिग्स आगे बढ़ते जाएंगे. You will only get stagnant. You can see it. So this is one set of jnana and kriya purushartha regarding Swadharma. Second, jnana and kriya purushartha regarding our own upadhis and their rakshana, palana, poshana, in spite of they being affected by the prarabdha. है कि नहीं? उसका प्रारब्ध अपना असर दिखाता रहता है ना? Like according to prarabdha, he got a disease. Yeah, disease has come, but I have the jnana purushartha, na? That the disease has come to my body, it has to be cured. That will happen when I take medicine. That's given by the doctor. These are all jnana purushartha regarding taking care of my upadhi, example, sharira. Kriya purushartha. Then take the body to the doctor, show it, he will test, give you medicine, take it. So upadhi, samrakshana, palana, poshana, to the extent possible, to whatever in our hands, despite the upadhi, prarabdha, we have the jnana purushartha, we have the kriya purushartha that can be done. है ना? You cannot say बस मेरा माइंड ऐसा है, मेरा शरीर ऐसा ही है. अब तक ऐसा है, अब उसको कुछ कर सकते हो तुम, है ना? देर मिस्टेकिंग दैट नो, अगर मेरा प्रारब्ध है तो डॉक्टर खुद आएगा, मेरा प्रारब्ध है तो बॉडी खुद ही डॉक्टर पास जाएगा, मेरा प्रारब्ध है तो लोग मुझे एम्बुलेंस में ले आकर ले जाएंगे या जबरदस्ती बांध के ले जाएंगे. सो दिस आर ऑल irresponsible, arrogant statements. There we go wrong. Make it simple, not complicated. You recognize you have disease, yeah. You know if you go to doctor, it will be cured, yeah. Even if you don't know, somebody tells. So jnana purushartha there that the body is ill health, it has to be taken to doctor. That one must have. And then do the kriya also. The rakshana aspect if it has disease. No disease, again jnana purushartha. That the body should last longer and the body should be healthy. Jnana purushartha. Do your acha exercise for that. Kriya purushartha. ये भी to the extent that's there in our hands, we must know. And more importantly, the upadhi of mana and buddhi. है ना? इन उपाधियों का having jnanam regarding where do they stand now, where they have to be, and how they have to be molded. This jnanam and kriya purushartha always is in our hands to the extent. May not be 100%. करते जाओ तो 100%. है ना? I have nothing in our hands, I will not do anything is pakka ignorance samsara. Taking into the hands and starting to do is called sadhaka lakshana. And totally with his purushartha samarthya, commanding the upadhis, maximum is siddha purusha. Yogis command their upadhi. They dissolve the upadhis in the samashti and merge in the self, and they invoke the upadhis, and whichever they want, they will use them. We saw all that in Yoga Darshanam. Yogis can have any upadhi. High level, very high level. The avataras, the yogis. It's the highest level. Keep the possibility in the mind. Okay. Now the third jnana purushartha and kriya purushartha is regarding the bhakti aspect. The second one is yoga aspect. Earlier one is karma yoga. I didn't use those technical words of karma yoga, ashtanga yoga, but that's what they are. Third is the bhakti purushartha sambandhi jnana purushartha and kriya purushartha. Bhakti sambandhi jnana and kriya. That as I have individual upadhi, these are always supported by the samashti. As these individual upadhis I am managing, there is somebody who is managing total. So establishing good rapport relation with that total, so that from him for my individual upadhis always good things only come. That purushartha is also third one in our possibility. है ना? The second one, the upadhi management purushartha of jnanam and as well as the kriya will help us in a healthy, good personality outcome I am telling. And there will be little joy, satisfaction that I have done my best. This one, the third one, we can see the sea of changes in us that if we utilize the Purushartha Samarthya of the Jnana as well as Kriya with regard to the Bhakti. So भगवान है, you must know. उनको हम कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं, we must know. This is what Jnana Purushartha. And all that is called Bhakti, we must know. And Kriya, you do that, then the Bhakti sadhanas. The outcome is we are always in tune with that. And anytime you ask, he will come. He will bless. He will take care. He will answer. He will respond. In fact, this Bhakti Purushartha or Jnana and Kriya Purushartha used for the Bhakti is such a great one. That not only for me, even for others also, I can invoke that divine grace. Like that, Ramayana Tulsi Ramayana mein, that Guru the Brahmana Devata, has he not done that stotram, the Rudrashtakam, and has he not invoked the Krupa of Ishvara on his this disciple, Kagbosundi, would be Kagbosundi? You can see the examples. He has put his efforts. Before that, he had that jnana about the presence of that महाकालेश्वर भगवान उज्जैन में. तो भगवान है जानना पुरुषार्थ, ज्ञान पुरुषार्थ. उनको भक्ति से प्रोपिशिएट कर सकते हैं, इसे ज्ञान पुरुषार्थ. When he is propitiated, in many cases he will help us, takes care of us. Knowing this is jnana puruषार्थ. Then doing it is kriya puruषार्थ. Some of us have little jnana puruषार्थ, but don't have kriya puruषार्थ. है ना? Especially in bhakti wala. That's why all the stotrams what we are chanting nowadays, in that we see the Jnana Purushartha regarding Bhakti and Kriya Purushartha regarding Bhakti. Do it, he will take care. In all cases of Bhaktas, they have done the Purushartha of knowing about presence of God, His powers, His kindness, compassion, and knowing how to invoke. This is Jnana Purusha. They did the Kriya Purushartha, that they sat for hours together in front of the Lord in that form of Murti or something. किसी ने उपासना किया, किसी ने अभिषेक किया, किसी ने स्तोत्र पाठ किया, किसी ने नमस्कार किया. Whatever that Jnana Purushartha, Kriya Purushartha, the result came. Isn't it? In some cases, already with some demand in mind, they did that Bhakti Purushartha. Bhagavan came and said, "Oh Bhakta, I know for this purpose you did my upasana, I am blessing you." In other cases, Bhagavan says, "I'm happy with your Purushartha upasana. Now I'm ready to give you a para. You ask what you want." देख रहे हो ना? What do we learn then from all this studying of Puranas and stories of Bhaktas and all? ठीक है? This is second, third one. More details, you work on it. Now the fourth one is, we also have the Jnana Purushartha and Kriya Purushartha about Tattva Jnana, which you and I are doing now in the class. It's a Purushartha to have the Jnanam about the Tattva. It's a Purushartha to do the Kriya of that Jnanam gained by trying to establish in that tattva that I am. It's my Purusharth. I have to recognize it. And that today is the Deepavali and Dasara and Sankranti and Janmashtami and Ganesh Chaturthi and all. Which day, when I consciously recognize that I have the Jnana Purushartha and Kriya Purushartha regarding Tattva Jnana. I have to do and I can do. Fully becoming aware of these two and fully engaged in it. That all the time I am in that only. My conscious efforts of gaining the Siddhanta Jnanam about the Tattva and doing the Kriya of trying to establish it. अब बाकी सारा मैंने छोड़ दिया बस वही मैं कर रहा हूं and this decides the prarabdha. What's the prarabdha? The Brahma Jnanam and Moksha. The third Purushartha of Bhakti leads to the prarabdha of we are always blessed and taken care of by that total power Ishwar. But the fourth one is beautiful. हम क्या कर रहे हैं भाई? We are not recognizing that possibility of Tattva Jnana gaining. So that Jnana Purushartha we are not fully invoking. There was sin of omission. Outcome is Tattva Jnana is never gained. And then we are not doing Tattvanistha Kriya, sin of omission. Therefore, Am Brahmasmi Anubhuti is not coming. That's the punishment. The other side of the coin of that punishment is continuing to live as a jiva to suffer. Remember, while all these four purusharthas are being done, the prarabdha, whatever it has to come and come, it will show its own effect in whatever the quantity at whichever the place it has to come. कभी mild होता है, कभी heavy होता है. Like class. Sometimes you have mild headache, sometimes little more headache, very high headache, or any other parts of the body paining, or any of the other outer works. They're all prarabdhas. But you are coming to class, sitting alertness के साथ and listening to whole class, trying to catch. All of that is your Purusharth. Prarabdha was there, but your Purusharth. Sometimes very less Prarabdha, maximum Purusharth. You become winner. Sometimes the Prarabdha is so stronger that you cannot win your Purusharth. Like yesterday. Morning we did our Kavacha Parayanam of Durga Saptashati. After that, afternoon and night, I tried my Purushartha Prana. नहीं हुआ वो chanting हो ही नहीं पाया. From the Dasara first day till yesterday. Yesterday was the day where I missed both the chanting. Because Prarabdha is so strong, no energy at all. I was collapsing only if I do it. Prarabdha is stronger than Purushartha. I think. So, these have to be contemplated and we have to give full knowledge and abide in that. So, the Swadharma, Jnana, Kriya, Purushartha. Upadhi management, Jnana Purushartha, Kriya Purushartha. Bhakti Upasana Sambandhi, Jnana Purushartham is knowing, Kriya Purushartham is doing. So to Tattva Jnana Sambandhi, Jnana Purushartha, that is studying the Upanishads, listening and all of that. Kriya Purushartha, little more we can talk. That start from this moment to say that I am that Brahman. Don't feel shy, don't feel embarrassed, don't postpone it. All of that are the tricks of the mind, which is happy when it is identified with the Deha and Indriya and Prana and sustains. When we identify the Brahman, the mind has lost all its freedom, which it doesn't want. Therefore, it doesn't want us to abide in the self. Therefore, it brings all these excuses. Excuse of postponing, excuse of giving importance to some other work, excuse of the shyness, excuse of saying, I cannot do, how can I do? Who is saying all of that? Our mind only, no? Thoughts of mind. What is the outcome of all these thoughts of the mind? Only one thing. Okay? I am not doing the practice that I am Brahman. That failure is enough to continue suffering as samsara. So start right now onwards. In next 5 years' time, I am not the Upadis, I am Brahman. In that, we have to become very thorough established. We have to be established. That's the only way to get out of the suffering because of the inevitabilities which otherwise happen to the Upadis. You know, doing Brahmabhyasa helps us in escaping the present Upadi consequences or their modifications and helps in future also. That I will not be identified with any Upadis. Not doing so anyway makes us suffer now with Upadis when they go through modification. Future also will be given Upadis, will be suffering. Because हमने साधना नहीं किया कि I am not the Upadi, I am the witness to them, I am the substrate above them. Uh, After these many years of all Upanishad is studying, if we don't start, what for we are waiting? Whom for we are waiting? Again, is it only theory? That's what again the mind. Which says मैं तो इतने दिन आपको अलो ही नहीं किया अब तो क्लास अटेंड करने को तो अलो कर रही हूँ ना more than that don't expect only for the class you must listen that also for that speaker Swami's Atma Shanti नहीं तो he'll commit suicide for his sake you go and attend class otherwise throughout the day you must listen to me the mind says अच्छा what do you say you are only body you are mind you are only senses so you are an individual in the world with this set of upadhi and you just do and suffer जो खरी रहे इतने दिन से वही करो ना नया क्यों दैट्स व्हाट द माइंड विल से अच्छा खासा सब चल रहा है ना डू इट एंजॉय द फूड हेल्थ समटाइम बैड गो टू द डॉक्टर गेट वेल ये माइंड को पता ही नहीं चलता कि डे बाय डे वी आर बिकमिंग ओल्ड द लाइफ ऑन दिस अर्थ ऑफ आवर्स इज स्लोली गेटिंग oozed away before we die the last moment we have to achieve this intellect knows it not the mind we don't use the intellect gurus and shastras educate our intellects. The world empowers our mind with all its emotions, likes, dislikes. Whichever are predominant in these two, the body and senses act according to their dictations. If the mind is dominant, mind dictates the body senses. If the intellect is dominant, with all its knowledge, the intellect dictates, even the mind too. Oh, mind, you just love the spirituality. You must love it. I have to command my mind to love and like my shastras, my adhyatmikata, my sadhana. Take a friends. In this way, so much can be talked on this, but sufficient data is given. Prarabdha, it has its role to play, but we always have the Jnana Purushartha and Kriya Purusha. All positive, I told. The Jnana Purushartha can be misused also as to know how to cheat people, how to be a thief, how to be a terrorist. And you can use the Kriya Purushartha to go according to the Jnana and be a terrorist. See those fellows, the Gaza, May, Hamas, thousands and thousands, Bichara. They exposed to those trainings, terrorist trainings and camps. Now suddenly ceasefire hua, so what to do they don't know. Then how many people the Iran will include? How many new organizations can be done? Only change the name and make the same thing do. Vichitra it is all. See, the Jnana Purushartha, Kriya Purushartha misused by them. Becoming terrorists and thousands. उनका काम ही हुआ है. India, Pakistan also, they train the people to be terrorists with all that. Then whenever they have to be used, they make use of the religious sentiment and they instigate the people. बेचारा people बुद्धू, they don't even think, अरे यार हम क्या कर रहे हैं, क्या सोच रहे हैं, क्या है हमारे पास knowledge. They think what knowledge they have is final. That is the biggest problem. That's the strongest thing called fanaticism. We are also so. In a Arthakama Purushartha Prapti alone is fulfillment of life. We got stagnant in this jnanam. We think this alone is a jnanam and kriya. And whole world is doing that. They also do the same thing. They put religious sentiment and they adopt the means of terrorism. But all is for Arthakama. Think. Thank you. Okay. Let us have our mantra Charana today. Today we'll do the mantra. Beautiful one. Bhagavan Sri Dakshinamurti. He is Parabrahman only. In that form, with that name, for our concentration. Other than that, actually he is Parabrahman. He alone takes three forms of the Ishvara, Guru, and we and I, the Jivas. Otherwise, he is the one common, homogeneous, all pervading self Brahman without any differences, differentiations in him, comparable with one thing which can be understood by us. That one thing is space. This shloka says these things. Okay? And then what is that shloka or the mantra? Om Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. So Namaha salutations. To whom you are doing Dakshinamurti. What is Dakshinamurti? For the mind's concentration, it is in that form sitting under the Vatavruksha with disciples around and in that Siddhasana. His name is Dakshinamurti. For mind's concentration are the Rupa and Nama. But who is that one for our intellectual apprehension? He is Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya. The one who is all pervading like the Akash. Like the Akasha is a lower example. He is such a subtler like Chidakasha that he is beyond even this Vyoma, the Akasha. Akasha also is a content object only in that Dakshinamurti named pure consciousness. And he alone, who is more subtler than space, the conscious space, he alone, with his power to play, comes to play the play of Ishvara with the Samashti Upadhi management commanding, Guru to teach, and Atma the Jiva. You and I. So in the रूप of ईश्वर also, ईश्वर में भी जगत भी ऐड कर लो, गुरु के रूप में भी आत्मा के, आत्मा में you and I. Who is playing the play of Ishvara, Guru and Atma? Is one Dakshinamurti. And that is all pervading pure conscious self. Pervading even the space. Comparably like space. To him my salutations. So ईश्वर को भी गुरु को भी मुझे भी एक ही दक्षिणामूर्ति व्याप्त कर रहे हैं. My salutations to him. And always salutations to him are in recognizing him as the essential self. ठीक है. तो ईश्वरः गुरुः आत्मा इति मूर्ति भेद विभागिनी, इन तीन मूर्तियों के भेद में जो विभजित है लीला के लिए, अदरवाइज व्योमवत व्याप्त देह, the one who is all pervading like space. To that Dakshinamurti my salutations. Very powerful, very useful, very meditative. Start. Om Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murtibheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murtibheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Ishvaro Gururatmeti मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद् व्याप्त देहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. ओम ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद् व्याप्त देहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. ओम ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद् व्याप्त देहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्त देहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. 8 times we chanted, remaining you do at home, and I have not exhaustively explained. You give some thought to it. Atma is I the Jiva with my Upadis. Guru with his Brahmanishtata and with his Upadis. Ishvara with his Samashti Maya Shakti and its powers as Upadis. These three are the ones, keep in mind. In that, the Guru teaches the Atma, that is the Jiva here, to worship that Ishvara and offer all his Upadis to that Ishvara. Then, that Guru only tells, recognize your oneness with the Ishvara from Tattva standpoint. All these, arrival in the form of Ishvara, arrival in the form of Jiva and getting bound, arrival in the form of the Guru to guide the Jivas to surrender to Ishvara at the Upadhi level, to realize oneness with the Ishvara at the Brahma level. All this is Parabrahma only playing the play. Like you can feel. In the dream, I went to my friend's house and did this or that. The waker only playing that play. Both. In the dream, you can imagine all the three. An Ishvara, a Guru, and yourself. The Guru came and told you, hey, oh, Bhagwan ka upasana kar, tera sab theek ho jaye. And you did it. Ishvara blessed and you became well. Who came? Who told that? Your own waker. Instead of waker, you take as the Vyomavat Vyapta Parabrahma. He alone is playing the play of, taking the role of Ishvara Guru Atma. You know? Sometime, here Atma means not Atman, Brahman, Jiva. For some time, yes, struggle as a Jiva Upadis. With the Upadis. Sometime, make the Upadis happy, no problem, as a Jiva. But later on, go to the Guru and keep listening as a Shishya. Thereafter, as per the instruction of the Guru, go to the Ishvara and become a Bhakta. Then, trying to recognize oneness between Ishvara and you. Become the Jignasu and Jnani and establish in the Ram Ramasna Jnana and get hooked. Don't stagnate only at the Upadhi level. है ना? उपाधि लेवल बद्ध पुरुष, उपाधि लेवल सुखी संसारी, with the Guru as Shishya, with the Ishvara as Bhakta, with the Brahman as Jignasu and Jnata and established. Just we saw as in common sense thought. Same things. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vivagine Vyomad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Thank you. Om 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 Sahana Vavatu Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Om Yerime Guruvihi Purvam Om Shankaram Shankaracharya Om Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Om Shruti Shruti Purananam Om Viditanamaya Vishadaika Kala Nacha Kinchana Kanchanam Asti Guru Dhrutameva Videhi Krupam Sahajam Bhava Shankara Deshikame Sharanam Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Parabrahmane Shruti Matre Samasta Brahma Bhakti Yoga Dharma Vidyacharya Bhyo Rishibhyo Munibhyo Gurubhyo देवताभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषदाचार्येभ्यो नमः संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधेन अस्मिन् क्षणे एव मोक्षकैवल्य प्राप्त्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्ति विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगत्यर्थं धर्मसंस्थापकानां निरन्तर दिग्विजयार्थं श्रीराम मंदिरवत् शिव कृष्णादि मंदिरादीनां पुनर्वाप्ति तेषु निरंतर शास्त्र अध्ययनादीनां द्वारा भारतवर्षस्य सनातनधर्मस्य बाह्याभ्यन्तर शत्रुविघ्न समूल निर्मूलन पूर्वक भारतवर्षे विश्वे च अस्मात् क्षणादारभ्य वैदिकैन्दव संस्कृतेः धर्ममोक्ष पुरुषार्थानां सु संप्रतिष्ठावाप्त्यर्थं कस्यां कक्षायाम् आगतानां संकल्पित सत्कर्मसु दिग्विजयार्थं तेषां हृदये परब्रह्मादीनां प्रतिभक्त्यादीनां द्वारा जन्म साफल्यार्थम अनेक शास्त्राणाम अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये कृष्ण यजुर्वेदीय श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषद अद्य शंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मोक्षार्थम ओम नित्यानंदम निराधारम चैंटिंग्स प्लीज 10, 11, 12 in the chapter 4. Om Mayam tu prakritim vidyat Mayinam tu Mayinam cha Maheshwaram Tasya bhutaistu Vyaptam sarvamidam jagat Yo yonim yonim athitishthatyekaha Yasmin nidam samcha vichaiti sarvam Tamishanam varadam devamidhyam Nichaya imam shantimatyantameti यो देवानां प्रभवश्चोद्भवश्च विश्वाधिपो रुद्रो महर्षिः हिरण्यगर्भं पश्यत जायमानं स नो बुद्ध्या शुभया संयुनक्तु. Chanting is done. Now in the Adhenam, that 14th mantra, twice Parayan kare. Om Bhavagrahyamanidakshyam Bhava Bhavakara Shivam Kala Sargakara देवं ये विदुस्ते जहुस्तनुम् ॐ भावग्राह्यमनीडाख्यं भावाभावकरं शिवं कलासर्गकरं देवं ये viduste jahustanum. Friends, when we have to literally see the dictionary meaning and move ahead, studying all these things become a play, a time, minutes of time only it will take. But you cannot call it a study, adhyayana. It's only a browsing through. And a study means you study it to thoroughly, deeply, fully understand. And understanding happens when you give time and apply your intellect and do the sufficient inquiry, research, thinking, contemplation. We have to not read the Upanishads, we have to study them. You know? So we are trying to study. That is why we go slow. Right, friends? So, and after studying the next two responsibilities of owning and retaining that knowledge, then living up to it till the experience happens. वो दोनों भी हमारे हैं ड्यूटी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी पुरुषार्थ है. Now you see the beauty of that word again. Yesterday we explained another angle, today we can see, but I'll leave it to you. The meaning of the sentence bhavagrahya. है ना? Bhava means giving it value. Bhava means giving it cost. Bhava means shraddha. Bhava means vishuddhantakarana. Grahyam. With that only it is grahya. Again, grahya means all the four things. Grahyam, intellectual understanding. Grahyam, practice. Grahyam, the glimpses of experience. Grahyam is fully establishing in that experience that I am that. See that bhava and grahya. Patiently, if you study, how many things they clearly reveal to us. So the subject समझ में आ गया. आप करते जाओ फिर. भाव देते जाओ, ग्रहण करते जाओ. भावग्राह्य. Okay. Now, again, though it is grahya with bhava, to do the grahya of it, it should be known. Okay? It should be known. No, it cannot be known as object. Therefore, if you want to know, if you insist it has to be known tatastha rupena eva. Therefore, the tatastha rupena it is said. When the tatastha rupena it is said, the tatastha lakshanas we have to drop, then we recognize it. For example, here anidakya. The anidakya means explanation about that Paramatma in a tatastha rupa. Which Paramatma? Who is bhavagrahya. And why should we do the grahana of that Paramatma? Ye viduste jahustano, to transcend all limitations and get permanent liberation. So, anidakyam is the tatastha way of saying about Brahman. So, nida is sharira. So, tatastha rupena, from the sharira standpoint, he told it to be what? He is beyond all shariras. Sula sukshma kara. Therefore, how is he cannot be told directly. But he can be told that he is beyond three shariras. Then what to do? Do you transcend these three shariras? What remains is he. You will experience it. There is a way of saying tatastha rupena. I can't show him directly, but you can see him when you go beyond the three shariras. That is beyond three shariras is the meaning of anida akhyam. Akhyam is he is named as, he is called as, he is said to be anida, behind nida, beyond nida. It is called aniketaha in another place. He has no niketa. See that? समझ गया ना? Anidakya is the explanation of Lord Brahman in a Tatastha Rupa, wherein he is explained as, with the standpoint of the Nida, as the Graha or the house, that he is beyond that need. The Nida is the Sharira here. Because Jiva stays in Sharira, the Brahman stays beyond Sharira. You are identified with the Sharira, you are Jiva. Drop the Sharira Tadatmya, then you are that Brahman. So knowing the Jnana Purushartha is knowing the Brahman to be Anidakya. Then the Kriya Purushartha is therefore transcend in your identity as well as awareness with the three Shariras. Go beyond the identity of the three Sharira, go beyond the awareness of three Sharira. Then you will realize that Anidakya Brahman. He is always in Mukta Sthiti. You are that Mukta. And that transcending the Shariras, remember, Is it possible or not? We have a doubt. It is possible. All examples can be given. Like when we are in Nidra, are we not transcending the Sthula Sukshma Shariras? Is there any Sharira there? So when we are in Swapna, are we not giving up this Sthula Sharira? दूसरा शरीर है वो. So too in Jagrata Avastha, the other two Shariras we don't even remember. That means giving up two Shariras to stay in another third one. We are anyway doing it. Plus, giving up or transcend even the third Sharira also we have to. And that you can't do in dream and deep sleep, you have to do in waking only. So in waking, the Swapna Sharira is anyway transcended. We are not in the Sushupti too. Only in the Sthula Sharira Tadatma we are. Therefore, being in the waking, going beyond Sthula Sharira Tadatmya, you will see that Anidakya Ishvara or Parabrahma. So, how many things here? The Brahman is Grahya. He alone has to be realized for moksha. And he is Bhava Grahya. And these are all the meanings of the word Brahma. And how that Brahman is grasped? By knowing him. Can you know him objectively? No. Subjectively only you can experience. What can help us at the sadhana kala is tatastha lakshana. So the tatastha lakshana is anidakya. Therefore, transcend the nida, the sharira, you realize it. In waking, you already transcended two shariras, swapna and sushupti. बस ये जागृत स्थूल शरीर को भी transcend करो. Totally in the identity and awareness of it. Don't enter into sleep. Every day we transcend in meditation the stula sharira, but enter into sleep. So consciously transcend the identity, consciously transcend the awareness of the sharira. What remains? Consciousness and awareness only remains. That is the Brahman, Anidakya. So Bhavagrahyam, Anidakya. So too the Bhava Abhava Karam. Don't focus on Bhava and Abhava, presence and absence. Focus on from where these both presence, the Bhava, the absence of Bhava of everything that are happening. See, it's little subtle if we are and alert in our intellect. We can catch these two things. That it is a satta only from where that bhava and abhava are coming and going. And that coming and going of bhava, abhava are awared by awareness. Therefore, sat and awareness is that Brahman. Intellectual understanding. When you transcend bhava and abhava, you will reach it. Bhava is Jagrat Supra. Again, abhava is the Sushupti. There is somebody on whom these two are projected. One is set of two, another is one. Bhava, bhava, karam. This is also about Brahman, the tatastha way of seeing. Swarupa is Sachidananda, that is only experiential. Other are the tatastha way of explaining him. That is called tatastha lakshana. Bhava, bhava, karam. Okay. Now the third one is Shivam. Hmm. Shivam is, again it is also the tatastha lakshana only. To say that there is no ashivata in him. What are the ashiva? Avidya tatkarya. This avidya and tatkarya are ashiva. They are not there in him, therefore he is Shivam. Shivam is not Ashivam. That way it is also a tatastha way of saying. Avidya tatkarya vinirvukta vidhi artha Krishna Vasudeva. Avidya tatkarya. What is the sadhana here? I am awareness, know it, and keep on practicing that I am awareness with the intellect. To such an extent that the thought that I am awareness is dissolved in the experience that I am awareness. It happens in other two cases also. Like the thought that I have to become doctor, I have to become doctor, with the efforts merges in the experience that I am doctor. So too, the thought that I want to enter sleep, I want to enter sleep, merges in the experience of sleep. And the thought that I have to eat this sweet slowly merges in the experience that I am eating the sweet. But this is bhoga, this is tamoguna. But we want the moksha. Same is. I am conscious Brahman, I am conscious Brahman. The thought is entertained. The thought dissolves, merges in the experience that I am Brahman. That is the sadhana in this word Shivam. Avidya tatkarya vinivarjita vinirmukta ityartha. Avidya tatkarya vinirmukta. Okay, then this can be explained for the sadhana sake and intellectual understanding sake at very lengthy level. I'll just give an idea. Avidya is not knowing Brahman, and tatkarya is kama and karma. Okay, these three put together is called the Hrudaya Granthi. इसमें अविद्या is a karana and the karya is kama and karma. The other fill up the blanks you have to add there. You know, as we are studying it very deeply in Yoga Vasishta Maharama. अविद्या of the Brahman, first level में a vague notion of an individuality. Sir, that second vague notion of individuality at the samashti level and veshti level, let us talk veshti only, identifies with some vasana samskaras. Because of it, it identifies with the upadhis. For identification, upadhis are required. Automatically, they are projected there. So these are all not said there. And I, the pure Brahman, forgetting I am Brahman, I became a specific individuality, and I was in a fear or vagueness as to what to do. Then I identified with the upadhi because of asana. Now with the upadhis, because of asana, I am always limited, and the limited can never be happy till it becomes unlimited. So that urge for the unlimited to become limited to become unlimited, for the incomplete to become complete, that urge technically is called as kamana, desire. Desire means what? Desire for completing. And we many times express also it in language. No, I feel I am incomplete without car. I feel I am incomplete without marriage and wife or husband. I am incomplete without the own house. Very literally we use this language. Adhura, we say in Hindi. Aparipurna. Isn't it? That sense of incompleteness, wanting to become complete, is desire. Why incompleteness? Because upadhis are incomplete with which we are identified. Why we are identified with उपाधि? Because हवा में हम घूम नहीं सकते, किसी न किसी में आइडेंटिफाई करना ही पड़ेगा. And who is that who is identified with उपाधि? A vague individuality. Why that vague individuality came? Because the real self is forgotten or given up or dissociated with, or the awareness and identity of it is dropped or distracted. Word कुछ भी use करो. है ना, कभी कभी होता है कि नहीं, सुबह उठते हैं मैं कौन हूँ, देन आई रिमेम्बर, अरे आई एम ए डॉक्टर, चलो लेट मी गो टू हॉस्पिटल. Or you are in a travel. अच्छा I am a traveler. I have to go there. Or I am here for trekking. हमें मैं कौन हूँ एक डाउट आता है कि नहीं सुबह. Then with something you have to identify. They were immediately with all the upadhis, vasanas, you identify and get settled only when you identify as I am husband of this wife, father of this child, owner of this house, doer of that job. अब then you feel tasalli. Naturally, with all those things which are limited, you feel incomplete. So to feel completed, something or the other, somebody will tell or mind will tell. दो बेवकूफ को होते हैं, एक अपना माइंड, एक दूसरे का माइंड. Both of them tell, find that, achieve this, do that, you will become complete. Until and at last, some guru comes in one of our lives and intellectually tells, Murak, you are an incomplete fellow, and the thing which you are seeking also incomplete. By getting an incomplete, how can you become complete? That itself is incomplete. Finite, how can make by getting added to another finite as infinite? See, until at last from Guru's words these we listen and understand that finite cannot make the finite infinite. Then we ask, then what to do, Guru? Then he reveals the first fact. You are always infinite only. You only lost that identity, and now you are identifying the finite and putting the endless, never succeeding efforts to become infinite with the finite equipments. Then what? Drop all this, you will realize yourself. To realize this intellectual knowledge given by Guru, oh, time lagta. You and I are at this stage. By studying the Upanishads, we are trying to grasp. First, after grasping, we relate that grasped knowledge with ourselves. We relate that grasped knowledge with ourselves. After grasping. What is all we are grasping? That the Brahman, the reality is infinite. In that the Upadhis are Kalpita. And with the Kalpita Upadhi identified, that Brahman is playing the play of Jiva. This is the intellectual knowledge we are gaining. Then relating that knowledge with me is what? I am that Jiva. Suffering now. Because of these Upadhi Tadatmya, which I call as mine. Who am I actually? As I studied in that Siddhanta, that Brahman who is identified with the Upadhi and it became Jiva. That Jiva is not anymore objective, it is me only. That Brahman also is not anymore objective as studied in the class, it is me only. Therefore, I am Brahman, identified with the Upadhi, playing the play of Jiva so seriously that now I am suffering. Then I understand. Therefore, what that Jiva should do, should give up his identity with Upadhi and he should realize his oneness with Brahman. And who is that Jiva? Me only. Therefore, I must give up my identity with my Upadhi. I must realize my Brahman. This is called subjectification of the objectively given taken knowledge. First intellectual. After that, then the whole life do that only. Whole life means still that happens. That you are not a Jiva with Upadhi, but you are a Brahman without Upadhi. अब इससे बढ़कर दूसरा नॉलेज नहीं है और इससे बढ़कर दूसरा सत्य नॉलेज भी नहीं है और जानने का भी नहीं गेन दिस I am telling how many things we are explaining. See, from this one sentence, Shivam, Vishuddhantakarana, Shiva, auspiciousness. Okay? Shuddham, avidya, tatkarya, nirmuktam. Shiva is Shuddham. Shuddham is avidya, tatkarya, Ashuddhi are not there. What is the meaning of avidya, tatkarya? This is much is the explanation. Then Kala Sargakaram, then Devam, Ye Viduhu, Te Jahustanum. Those three words remain. You come tomorrow to study. Om 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 Purnamada. Just friends, just by saying that he is the one Bhava by Vishuddhanta Karana, he can be gained. Anidakyam is beyond the three nidas upadhis. Bhava Bhavakaram is the one with his infinite power, manifests the world and makes it unmanifest. Shiva is the most auspicious without the Ashuddhya, Vidya and Tatkarya. Kala Sargakaram is the creator of all the 16 Kalas as that is said in Prashton Pranshad Devam is of the nature of consciousness. Ye viduhu, whoever know him, te jahustanum, they go beyond the body. ऐसे कैजुअली सब्जी मार्केट में 10 किलो टमाटर 50 रुपए या 100 रुपए ऐसे कहने की तरह यू कैन टेल इट एंड गो अहेड but that won't enter into our bosom. Now we are studying Shastra for allowing this knowledge to permeate so much into us that From the root level, the ignorance should go away. Avidya and tatkarya should go away. No? Again, everything like you have a wound in the body. आप कोई ointment लेके फिर ऐसे ऊपर और लगाओ तो it doesn't affect. First that wound has to be dressing करना है उसको properly. Then apply that ointment fully properly as much told by the doctor. Then whatever the cover has to be done. And then leave it for the wind or whatever it has to. Then in time it cures. Even the eating of the food also. It's not that just gulp it and all. That's why all diseases come. Everything is science, intellectual, understanding. The timing of the food, the quantity of the food, the quality of the food, the way of taking of the food. All of it is an understanding. If you properly in that measured qualitative manner, quantity be, quality be, time be maintain karoge, the entire system is so wonderful that you will live in the body as if there is no body only. Because a healthy person never becomes aware of his body. Only a diseased fellow always is aware of body. The disease is the attraction, the attention drawn by the body to it. Only to say that you are abusing me, that you are not taking the food properly in quantity, quality and timing. ये बंदा अपना प्रारब्ध खत्म करके just like that he'll eject the body and go. If intelligently he lives with the body, one example I gave with regard to food. Go to the other two things. Ahara ho gaya, vihara and swapnava. Both the other activities and the nidra. Even about those two things also, if you have the mastery, ahara vihara, cheshta karma and nidra. If these three are fully mastered by us, our life in this body is such a play. So they also we are careless there also. That's when नींद नहीं आती है और जहाँ नहीं आना उधर आती है. और एक्टिविटी जब अच्छा करना है तो थक ही रहते हैं. अब कभी इतनी एनर्जी होती है क्या करो पता नहीं. We keep all doing nonsense. And food we know anyway how many ways. In the same way, Vedanta also is not just reckless, careless thing. No, it has Shravana, it has Manana, it has Avagahana, then it has to be subjectified. Then actually we have to live it, and then we can experience the transcendental. So in this way to understand also we need a lot of maturity. That comes when you come every day to class. Try. Any other physical ailments, problems है तो ठीक है. What to do? Nobody can say, isn't it? So plan well, no activity in such a manner that I should be able to attend my class. Because if you give importance, you manage in that way. Thank you. Lots more to discuss. We'll see tomorrow. Kala Sargakaram Devam Yeviduste Jahustanu. Beautiful Upanishad, beautiful topic. Anna, studying 10 topics vaguely, studying one topic deeply. One first thing we went on doing for last 5 years. Now let us start doing the second thing now. Each topic as deeply as possible so that the essence is gained. Thank you. Come to the Gita for some time.